Good morning. Good morning. To start our time together, let's light the chalice together. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together.
And as the chalice is lit, use this time to quiet your hearts and quiet your minds, that we might be able to focus on the service that's before us. Thank you. Thank you, John. Good morning, everybody. My name is Charlie Tyler. I'm the pastoral minister here at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the Low Country. It's my privilege and pleasure to stand in front of you on a week-by-week basis and to know that I am looking at and you are looking back at me as the most compassionate, merciful, and kind group of people that I've ever met in my life. And one of the reasons why I continue to come here and be a part of this is because of the love and grace that's given to me and given back to you side to side. And so I pray that you might be able to know that and feel that and perceive that in very real ways, because that's a part of what we do and who we are. For a moment, I'd like to take some time to ask those of you who are first or second time visitors, if you're willing to stand where you are and give us your name and tell us where you're from, because somebody else may be from there too in this room because of who we are. So I'm going to look at the different sections. On my far right, your left, are there any first or second time visitors willing to stand? Oh, thank you. And you are related to somebody. To Linda, thank you. Anybody else on that side? Yes, sir.
John Michael Johnson. I'm from Somerville, Charleston, but I lived here for 20 years.
Well, welcome. Anybody else on that side? And in the middle section. Any first or second time visitors? Notice I don't call it the center section because it sounds so much like the center section. And I want to make sure that I keep all of that straight. In the middle. On my far left and your right, first or second time visitors. Yes.
Bill and Fran Berlin, we're from Buckingham Landing down the street.
Well, good to have you here. Anybody else on that side? Am I missing anybody? So we have a number of announcements that's coming up right now. One of them that I want to do, first if I can, Cherie Gibson. One of the things that we do here as new members coming to our fellowship is after they go through the new member class, we always print out one of these gold badges, and we let you think that this will take you straight to heaven. It won't. It has value. Cherie, are you here today? If you would, please. And if I have got my emphasis on your name correctly, I apologize. So thank you. Round of applause. So we have a number of announcements that need to take place right now. I'm going to ask Beth, if you would please, where are you? There you are.
This is just a,
This is just a reminder to everybody that we have movie night coming up this Wednesday, April the 2nd, 6 o'clock here at the church. There is a sign-up list out in the lobby area, and we'd really appreciate it if you would sign up. That helps us know how many tables to set up. It's a great film. It'll be a great discussion, and we'll have a great meal. Thanks.
what's the film?
What's the name of the movie?
The movie is One Life.
One Life.
Tish Haunt. Tish, you have an announcement? Yes, if you would, please.
Good, it's time for our communion. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Tish.
Hi, I'm Tish. I've been away for a little bit, but I'm back. Anyway, I'm feeling much better and hoping, trying to get our women dining out started up again, which I'm rebranding as ladies' luncheons, because we've started to just do lunches, and hoping to do it on every third Wednesday. And rather than me trying to go through the list and send out emails to the whole world who don't want them, I've put a sign-up sheet in the back, and if you could please just put your name and an email address that I can read easily, that would be great. And I'll still be reaching out to people. I just want to make sure we get as many people who are interested to come to be there. Thank you.
Thank you, Tish. David, I think you have something you wish to say? Where's Ellen?
Dave Rosenberg.
Oh, okay. I didn't get the initials after that. David Rosenberg, thank you. Apologize to David and Sarah.
We have a very special guest with us today to help me make this announcement. We have imported her from high atop the lighthouse in Sea Pines, where she studied with the great Baba Ganoush. I think there might have been some hummus and pita bread involved as well. We have with us today the great Ellen Soni. The great Ellen Soni is a mind reader and clairvoyant, and she's going to demonstrate her awesome powers to us by answering some pre-prepared questions from random members of the audience. Okay, first question. All right. This audience member asks, what special thing happens here at the UUCL in the month of April?
So far, this is very simple for me. The UUCL talent show.
Ah, thank you. And great Ellen Soni, the next question. What is special about the UUCL talent show?
Well, no one has any talent, but we don't care. Wait, no. I have that wrong. We have lots of talent, so much talent, our talent is overflowing.
She's amazing, isn't she, folks? And now, the next question. What time and what date is the UUCL talent show?
Saturday, April 5th at 7 o'clock.
So one more thing I'd like to know, great Ellen Soni, who should I bet on in the Cardinals-Red Sox series? See you all at the talent show.
So, for those of you who were planning to go to the talent show, you have now been warned. As It's going to be a great time. We're going to laugh a lot. Oh, yes, Kathy.
Should I say something about
Yes,
this?
if you would, please.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't get on the agenda.
That's okay.
So, good morning, everyone. I'm Kathy Sizer, and I am the new chairperson of the Care Committee. I hope I live up to that applause. And as you know, it's very hard to say no to Betsy Morehouse, and I guess she's listening today, so I'll get you for this, Betsy. But anyway, there is a segment on the back of your or Sunday newsletter, whatever.
Order of service.
Thank you, getting there. So, it says contact Janine. She is going to be part of the care committee, but I am going to take over the chair. So we'll get information out to you with my number. Please feel free to contact me. It's explanatory on the back of the the back of the order of service. And as you can see, I'm very nervous when I'm up here. So, but anyway, we'll get organized. Please call us if you have any concerns about someone. It is kept confidential until we talk to that person, but it's just to let them know that they are loved by our community and supported also. So, thank you.
Thank you, Kathy.
And I think there's a meeting after the service for the care committee people. So.
Don't be nervous, we love you.
So I also wanted to bring this piece of information to our congregation. Ron Smith, one of our devoted members, his brother passed away some time ago, and there will be a brief private service here in the sanctuary on this coming Saturday morning at 11 o'clock. Is it 11 o'clock? Yeah. So I hope that we'll just be offering Ron our thoughts and sending him some encouragement during the days ahead. It is now my pleasure to welcome Clint Tawes to this pulpit for the opening comments. Clint, as you know, has been a part of this congregation on a fairly regular basis now, and we benefit from it. I certainly hope that he does as well, too. But you should know that the man that's sitting up here right now, first of all, someone thought you were a rabbi when you came in earlier. Given an upgrade. But Clint was here a couple months ago and taped one of his sermons, and you should know that he was a screaming Pentecostal banshee in his former life. And somehow, he's now one of us. So, Clint, if you would please, your opening words.
It's good to be here again. If I'd known the gentlemen from Somerville were going to be here, we could have carpooled. First time I stepped foot in a Unitarian Universalist church, I had just moved from Charleston to Savannah. Back in Charleston, I'd been a member of the United Church of Christ congregation, a community I loved and trusted. So when I was preparing to move, I asked my minister if there was a UCC church in Savannah he would recommend. He sadly informed me that the UCC in Savannah was not an open and affirming congregation and advised that I might want to try the UU church. So I did. The first Sunday I visited, the entire service was themed around John Denver music. That wouldn't seem strange to me now. In fact, I'm currently working on a Diana Ross themed service that I'll be preaching next week. But at the time, I left scratching my head. I remember calling my dad as I left service and saying to him, "Dad, I just left church full of a bunch of hippies." And I didn't go back, not right away at least. But eventually, I found myself walking through those doors again. I don't remember what hymns they sang that Sunday. I couldn't tell you what the sermon was about. But I do remember this. As I left the service, a woman stopped me outside the church. She told me her name was Martha and asked me my name. And the following Sunday, when I came back again, Martha greeted me by name with a smile. It was such a simple thing, but in that moment, it meant everything. Today, the sermon topic is Where Everybody Knows Your Name. And while this may not be a bar in Boston with a catchy theme song, I believe that what we offer here is even more meaningful. A place where people are not just welcomed, but known. A place where even a stranger's name is worth remembering. A place where belonging begins not with doctrine or dogma, but with a moment of connection. So whether you are new to this place or have been coming for years, whether you remember why you came this morning or just knew you needed to, know that this space was made for moments like this. Come with your questions, come with your stories, come with your full, beautiful, searching selves. Come, let us worship together.
And now, if you would please take your hymnals into your hands. Turn with me, if you will, to hymn number 100. And may we stand and sing together. I've got peace, we've got peace, like a river. Thank you.
Now it's time for us to share in our abundance, but certainly we have a lot up here. The Sandalwood Food Pantry and Lufton Self-Help, we've been sharing our abundance with them for a very long time. And if you have brought any items to share with them, please put them on the back table. If you've done so already, thank you very much. And now, if you are a visitor, your being here today is your gift to us. So we'd like to pass the basket, and you please let it pass by. Thank you so much for your generosity.
Good morning. This is the time in our service where we share our joys and concerns. And in sharing our joys, we can celebrate with one another. And in sharing our concerns, somehow together we can help lessen those burdens. If you have a joy and or concern, please come forward, take a stone from the basket, briefly give us your name, and share with us your joy and or concern, and then place your stone in the cairn.
Hi, I'm Diana. Thank you, everybody, for making my daughter feel so welcome last week. She always loves coming here. She's not convinced that this is her place. But yeah, she goes, how come I'm around all these old people and I'm the only one knitting? But what else was I going to say? I have a hard time going to the events, the dinners, so I have concern for myself. If anybody needs a ride, or like Joanne knows, right, what motivates me is helping somebody else, I guess, to get here. So if anybody needs a ride or needs company to go to the dinners and the things that we have, in addition to church, feel free to call me. If you need my number, if you want to track it down, just approach me. I'm pretty easy to talk to. But I just wanted to let you know, I really appreciate this church, this congregation. I'm really grateful to be here. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Candida. I wanted to share with you that a joy thing. My daughter Angela and her husband Daniel are expecting a baby girl in October, and I am part of a very large Italian family, so this is a big abbondanza thing. And I'm not from New Jersey or New York. I'm from the Northern Virginia, Pittsburgh area. But the other great thing is my parents are still alive. They're 92, frail, but hearing this news has brought a lot of joy to their hearts, and so I hope that that keeps them going and spirits up. Thank you very much.
Wonderful.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mary Lenny, and I just want to tell you about a dear friend of mine. I was homeless for a day. Well, I wasn't, but almost. I sold my house, and it's going to be a while before my son's building me a house. And so Kathy's eyes was gracious enough to take me in. And I have to say, it's been absolutely wonderful for me. I hope it has been somewhat for her. And she made, okay. And she has a lovely daughter and who I knew. And so she was one of the first people I had lunch with here when I first came. And since then we've been friends, but this brings me to tears to say just how great she's been and what a joy it's been to be there. So I'm not homeless anymore. And the other thing very quick is my grandson was helping me with big green garbage bags of stuff to bring to my room. And all I could think of was the women that are homeless with a couple little kids that have a big green garbage bag and go from shelter to shelter and no place to go. we have so much to be grateful for. Thank you. Hi, I'm Kay Sartorius, and I have a great joy. My darling daughter, Barbara Bieland, is visiting with me for a week, and so we'll be having lots of fun, and she's here with me today. So, again, just nice to have her, nice to have a chance to see one another again.
Hi, good morning. My name is Melanie Kerr. I'm Marietta Kerr's daughter. I wanted to give you an update on how she's doing. She has developed pneumonia, so she's in bad shape. And she sleeps a big part of the time now. But she still has her sense of humor, and she's still very interested in politics and needs to watch her recorded Rachel Maddow show at 11 o'clock every night. And so she would love to have visitors still. And I think the best way to do this would be to coordinate through Lynn, because Lynn and Phyllis are both part of our family. And but Lynn is kind of there on almost a daily basis. And the best times to visit her, I leave on Wednesday, and we're going to have home health aides come in. So the mornings aren't good because they will be there helping her out. But the afternoons, anytime from 2 to 6:30, my brother will be coming to stay overnight with her every night, but he won't get there till about 6:30 or 6:45. So that would be a great time to visit. She refuses to have home health aides in the afternoon because she wants her privacy. So we'll see how that plays out, you know. But right now, she's gonna be on her own in the afternoon, and she loves you all very much, and she would love to see you. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Patricia Friedman, and I'm chair of the Finance Committee. And I'm up here to give a shout out.
Raise your microphone a little bit.
I'm up here to give a shout out and a thank you to Leslie Hawes and Mary Lou Beavers, who last night pulled off a grand gala event for our festival. The food was wonderful, the decorations were gorgeous, and the entertainment was a lot of fun. And thank you so much to the two of you for doing that.
I'm Lori Klingman. My sister Linda's here. Thank you. I'm visiting from Pittsburgh for the whole week. I'm very joyous to be able to be with my sister at this particular time. And my care is that when I leave, she'll be alone. So I want you to all help her out while she grieves.
So I wanted to take a moment here and let this community know that our good friend Arnie lost a partner that was very close to him to cancer just recently, and just wanted to be able to acknowledge that together. Arnie, and so our thoughts are with you, and our voices are with you too. Thanks, man.
I will now place 2 stones in the cairn for the joys and concerns that still remain in your hearts. I will also place a stone in the glass vase for those children and families that have been affected by gun violence. And now if you will join me, we'll read together the affirmation in the back of your hymnal, number 554, I believe. Yes, 554. Water flows from high in the mountains. Water runs deep in the earth. Miraculously, water comes to us and sustains all life. Water and sun breathe these plants. When the rain of compassion falls, even a desert becomes an immense green ocean.
So it's now my pleasure to invite back to this pulpit Clint Tawes. Let's make him feel special.
In September of 1982, America was introduced to a quaint, basement-level bar in Boston, a place where the beer was cold, the conversation was warm, and everybody knew your name. Cheers was modeled after a real Boston pub, the Bull and Finch, a cozy, below-street-level hideaway that made the perfect setting for a show about a bar. But while Cheers was set in a bar, it was never just about a bar. It was about the people who walked through its doors, their stories, their struggles, their search for connection. And no one embodied that search more than Shelley Long's character, Diane Chambers. When Diane first stepped into Cheers, she thought she was just passing through. She was engaged to Sumner Sloan, a literature professor she had once assisted as a graduate student. He was her intellectual equal, a man of refinement and sophistication. They had a future together, or so she thought. But before they could leave to be married in Barbados, Sumner needed to make a quick stop. His grandmother's diamond ring was still on the finger of his ex-wife. And although Diane was not keen on her fiancé visiting his ex-wife, Sumner insisted that symbols matter, and he would only be gone 10 minutes. So Diane waited at the bar while he went to retrieve it. And waited, and waited. More than an hour passed before Sumner finally returned without the ring. Barbara, his ex-wife, wasn't quite ready to part with it. Then, as if on cue, the phone rang. It was Barbara, now miraculously willing to surrender the ring. Sumner, ever the smooth talker, turned to Diane and suggested she book a later flight. With that, he left again, promising to return soon. Hours later, Diane still sat alone. Feeling uneasy, she called the airline to change her flight, only to discover the truth. Sumner had already taken the flight, without her. And worse, he wasn't traveling alone. He had left with Barbara. In an instant, Diane's future unraveled. The life she had imagined for herself had vanished, and there she was, alone in a bar she would never have chosen for herself, stranded in a moment she never saw coming. She could have left that bar and never looked back, but something unexpected happened. She stayed. At first, it was out of necessity. She needed a job, and Cheers happened to be hiring. But over time, Cheers became more than a paycheck, more than a place to pass the time. It became her refuge, a place where people would come to know not just her name, but who she truly was. When Diane walked into the bar that day, she was seeking nothing more than a place to sit and wait for a few minutes. But if you'll allow me to speculate for a little about this fictional character, I would posit that she was seeking much more than a stool to sit on. She was seeking a sense of certainty in a world that had just shifted beneath her, a place where she wasn't just passing through, but where she belonged, a soft landing after a fall she never saw coming. Diane didn't know it yet, but she was searching for sanctuary. She was not the only one who had arrived at Cheers needing more than just a drink. Others had come searching for refuge in their own way. Sam Malone, the former Red Sox pitcher, had once been on top of the world, but after his baseball career ended and his battle with alcoholism nearly destroyed him, he needed a place where he could rebuild himself. Cheers became his second chance. Norm Peterson, the accountant with a sharp wit and a self-deprecating humor, found himself in a job he didn't love and a marriage that often seemed indifferent. But at Cheers, he was greeted like royalty. His name cheered out the moment he walked through the door. Cliff Clavin, the know-it-all postal worker, struggled to fit in anywhere else. But at Cheers, his endless trivia and peculiar observations weren't just tolerated, they were expected. And of course, we cannot forget Carla Tortelli, the tough-talking waitress with a string of bad relationships and a house full of kids. She needed more than just a paycheck. She needed a place where she didn't have to hold back. At Cheers, she could be as loud and sharp as she pleased, and instead of pushing her away, they pulled her in. Each of them came looking for something, whether they knew it or not, and each of them found more than a bar stool. They found sanctuary, and that's what made Cheers special. It wasn't just a bar. It was a sanctuary for the lost, the wandering, the searching. And in that way, maybe Cheers isn't all that different from church. People don't just find themselves on a bar stool by accident, and the same can be said for a church pew. Sure, some show up because it's expected of them, a spouse drags them along, a parent insists, or it's simply what they've always done. But if you look a little deeper, if you listen closely to the stories behind why people step through the doors of a church, you'll find something strikingly familiar. Many arrive feeling a little lost, a little untethered. Life didn't turn out quite the way they planned. A marriage has ended, a career stalled, a dream crumbled. They come looking for something solid when everything else feels shaky. Some show up carrying the weight of grief, longing for a space where they can sit with their sorrow without having to explain it. Some come because they are lonely. They have plenty of acquaintances. They have friendly coworkers, but not true friends. They have social media connections, people whose posts they scroll through with their morning coffee, but never someone to share a cup with. But what they don't have are enough people who truly see them. They are searching for the warmth of recognition, for a place where someone will notice if they're missing. Others come because the world outside feels too harsh, too cold. The news cycles are relentless, the division exhausting, the cruelty overwhelming. They need to know that kindness is alive somewhere, that compassion still has a home. Some don't know exactly why they're here. They just know they need something, a sense of peace, a moment of stillness, a reminder that they are not alone. At Cheers, it didn't matter where you came from, what mistakes you made, what baggage you carried through the door. If you walked in enough times, people got to know your name. And at its best, our religious community is the same way. A place where you don't have to have it all together to belong. A place where you can bring your whole self, the joy and the heartbreak, the wisdom and the wounds, and find not judgment, but welcome. But here's the thing about a place where everybody knows your name. Everybody has to be welcome. It's not truly a sanctuary if it's only a sanctuary for some. And that's where the challenge begins. Because being a place of refuge isn't just about opening the doors. It's about making room at the table for whoever walks through them. It's about being truly inclusive. As Unitarian Universalists, we talk a lot about being inclusive. It's one of our guiding values, something we take pride in. But the real question is, are we? We live in a world where inclusive has somehow become a bad word, where exclusive is a selling point, a mark of prestige. We see it in advertising, exclusive clubs, exclusive neighborhoods, exclusive restaurants. The message is clear. Exclusivity means value. If not everyone is welcome, it must be special. And recently we've seen this warped way of thinking pushed into the cultural and political landscape. Exclusive has become positive, while inclusive has become negative. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, once considered a simple acknowledgement that all people deserve a fair shot, has been vilified by politicians and pundits who want us to believe that inclusivity is a threat. They claim it's divisive. Thank you. They claim it's unnecessary. They say it's woke and dismiss it like it's some kind of weakness. But we know better. We as Unitarian Universalists don't believe in drawing those kinds of lines. One of the things that distinguishes our faith from traditional Christianity and from many religious traditions is that we don't operate on exclusivity. We don't say you must believe as we believe to be part of this congregation. We don't say you must follow these rules or fit this mold to belong. It's easy to look at those who are openly exclusive, those who argue against DEI, those who create barriers to belonging in the name of doctrine, those who make it clear that only certain kinds of people are truly welcome. It's easy to look at those people and congratulate ourselves for being different. It's tempting to rest in the comfort of knowing that we are on the right side of inclusivity. But being truly inclusive takes more than just avoiding exclusion. It takes more than distancing ourselves from those who draw harsh lines. Being inclusive is about more than just believing in inclusivity. It's about more than having the right principles printed in our hymnals. Because saying everyone is welcome is easy. Making sure people feel welcome, that takes effort. It takes tremendous courage to walk into a new church for the first time. You don't know the people or whether you'll fit in with them. You don't know the traditions, when to sit, stand, or kneel. And for those whose only religious background has been in an evangelical or more traditional church, stepping into a UU congregation for the first time can be disorienting. Here we might sing a classic hymn one week and a Bob Dylan ballad the next. The sermon might draw from the Bible, the Bhagavad Gita, or a fictional Boston bar. It's often not what people expect, and that can feel a little unsettling at first. They may find themselves scanning the room, wondering if they belong here, if anyone will notice them, if they made a mistake by walking through the doors. They might hesitate before taking a seat, unsure if there's some unspoken rule they don't yet understand. That moment takes courage, and what happens next determines whether they'll ever come back. If we are truly inclusive, then when an unfamiliar face walks through those doors, we don't just nod politely. We don't assume that because we are welcoming congregation, they must feel welcomed. We introduce ourselves, we share our names, we learn their names, and if they happen to walk through those doors a second time, we don't greet them like a visitor, we greet them like Norm walking into Cheers. Because the difference between being open to everyone and being a place where people truly belong is not just in our beliefs, it's in our actions. It's important to make visitors feel welcomed, to ensure that when someone takes that first courageous step into our sanctuary, they are met with warmth, with hospitality, with a genuine sense of belonging. But inclusivity cannot begin and end at the doors. Because being inclusive isn't just about greeting the newcomer. It's about making sure that those who have been here for years, those who have shown up Sunday after Sunday, those who have served on committees, taught religious education, and brewed the coffee, they also need to feel seen, valued, and appreciated. As important as it is to be a place of refuge for the Diane Chambers of the world, those searching for sanctuary, for a place to land after life has thrown them into chaos, we must also be a place of refuge for those already in the sanctuary. Because life doesn't stop happening because you found a spiritual home. Finding a religious community doesn't mean we cease to have worries. It doesn't mean we are suddenly free from hardship. Members of this congregation, people sitting in these very pews, are carrying burdens we cannot see. They're facing health concerns, financial struggles, family conflicts, grief that lingers long after the casseroles have stopped arriving. And yet sometimes we assume that because someone has been here for years, they must be fine. They must already belong. They must already have everything they need from this community. But that's not always the case. A congregation is like a family. And like any family, it's easy to take one another for granted, to focus so much on the next new face that we forget to check in on the familiar ones. Mahatma Gandhi was a man who gave his life to the cause of justice. His leadership helped free a nation. His philosophy of nonviolence inspired movements across the globe. But while he was working to change the world, his own son, Harilal, struggled in the shadow of his father's greatness. Gandhi, who fought tirelessly for the dignity and liberation of millions, did not always extend that same care to his own child. Havirlah longed for his father's guidance, his support, his blessing, but often found himself overlooked, cast aside in the wake of a mission larger than himself. He spent his life searching for something that should have been his all along, a place of belonging in his own family. We too are a justice-seeking people. We care about the world beyond these walls, and we should. We believe in the inherent worth and dignity of all people, and we fight for that worth and dignity to be recognized. But as we look outward, we must also look inward. Because if we are not careful, we can become so focused on making sure the doors are open to all that we forget to nurture those who are already inside. We can become so passionate about saving the world that we overlook the people sitting beside us, the ones who have showed up time and time again, quietly hoping someone will notice when they are struggling. Being truly inclusive means making sure no one, whether they have been here for 5 minutes or 50 years, feels like they are on the outside looking in. It means checking in on one another, not just when a crisis is obvious, but when there's no crisis at all. Because inclusion is not just about responding to pain, but about fostering connection. It means recognizing that people don't stop needing to be seen just because they've been here for a while. Because community isn't built in a moment. It is built in the quiet, consistent acts of care, the conversations in the hallways, the unspoken understanding that you matter here. A place where everybody knows your name. And a place where, no matter how long you've been here, that still means something. At the end of every episode of Cheers, the characters didn't always have their problems solved. Norm still had to go home to a marriage that wasn't always fulfilling. Carla still had a house full of kids to care for. Sam still carried the weight of his past. But for a little while, they had a place where they could set their burdens down. A place where they could laugh, be themselves, and know they belonged. And isn't that what we all long for? A place where we can bring our joys and our sorrows, our victories and our struggles, and know we won't have to face them alone. A place where our presence matters, where our names are known, not just in passing, but in a way that says, I see you, I care about you, you belong here. That's the kind of place we strive to be. Because being truly inclusive is not just about the open door, it's about what happens after someone walks through it. It's about making sure that every person, whether they are stepping into this space for the first time or the 500th, feels like they have a place at the table. That's what it means to be a sanctuary. That's what it means to be a community. And that's what it means to be a place where everybody knows your name. May the Unitarian Universalist congregation of the Low Country always be that place. Amen, and may it be so.
Thank you, Clint. It is a pleasure to us that we know your name. If you would please take your hymnals into your hands, hymn number 67, if I'm right, and we'll stand and sing together. We sing now together. As always, I want to make sure all of you know that the talkback will be held about 11:15. We'll gather back in here and have some questions for Clint to speak with us and to unpack some of what we've heard. So you are invited to stay. Sometimes there's beer, but not always. And I just want you to feel comfortable and feel at home here. There's a few things that I also want to revisit. Lori, Michael, Johnson, Bill, and Fran, thank you for being here today. I hope that this time has been meaningful to you. It has been to me. Next week, Dick Hood will be speaking. Let's visit the stories from our youth is his title. And so we're looking forward to that. And then Dr. Jones the Sunday after that. So we have a full slate of really cool things that are happening here. Now, what am I forgetting? Silence, I'll take it. Thank you. Clint, if you would please, bring some of your closing words.
As we prepare to leave this place, may we carry with us the spirit of sanctuary, not just in our hearts, but in our actions. May we be the kind of people who remember names, who make space at the table, who look for the quiet ones in the corner and invite them into the circle. May we go forth not just believing in belonging, but practicing it, creating it, living it. And when someone shows up, whether in our congregation, our neighborhood, or our daily lives, may they find in us what we all long to find in others, a place to land, a sense of welcome, a reminder that they matter, a place where everybody knows their name. Go in peace, go in love, go and make it so. Amen.
Amen. While this time in the sanctuary together comes to an end, please join me as we extinguish the chalice. Stand if you are willing and able. While we extinguish this flame, we'll still carry in our hearts the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment, until we are together again. Amen.